Good morning and welcome to the Small Business Support Group, now live on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, LinkedIn, Google Products, and Apple Podcasts. Yes, we're on everything now, so you can't get away from us. Good morning to Maz. There she is. How are you feeling this morning, Maz?
Very well, thank you.
Okay, that's all right, just checking. We have Grant here as well. Morning, Grant.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
There she is. And also, well, I was going to say Mark, but I think we've got a blank screen. I don't know where he's gone. But luckily, I did grab a picture of him earlier. There he is.
He's Black Ops. He's undercover.
That's him. There he is. I don't know what. Oh, is he coming on or off? There he is. Morning, Mark.
I'm just by my yacht. What's up here?
Oh, you're doing well. So it's Friday, everybody. It's the 12th of June. It's a positive day, isn't it, Maz? It is a positive day. She's feeling a little bit depressed today, is our Maz. But we're here to support her and not make her cry, even though it'd be great for the ratings. But she said earlier, I'm not feeling it today. And I went, really? And I went, yes, I feel a bit sad. And I went, okay. I said, well, if you can cry on air, it'd be great for the ratings. And she went, I'm not doing that.
You said, Matt, can you please cry on air? I said, okay.
Yeah, I've just said that, man. Thanks for repeating.
Just keep taking the mickey out of her big hands, and you'll make her cry.
Well, you see, we've got a new section today. It's what Maz thinks. So if it's positive, it's a that. If it's not positive, it's that.
There you go.
That's what we're gonna do. Anyway, Maz, you want to kick things off today? We're not doing an index. Off we go. Go on, Maz. Do it.
Good morning. Well, actually, no, good afternoon. Good afternoon to everybody out there. It's Friday. So, Friday. Went for my run this morning. Came back, did a bit of journaling. And I always start my journal off with a quote. So today's quote was, "The meaning of life is to find your gift, and the purpose of it is to give it away." And that then brought me to a book that I've revisited. And I know Grant has mentioned before that maybe we should speak about a book that we've been reading that's helped us during this lockdown. So I would like to talk about this book. It's by Simon Sinek. Grant, I know you've read it. Not sure, Mark or Matt, if you've read it. So this book is for anyone who wants to inspire others or be inspired, because in business, it doesn't matter what you do. It matters why you do it. So essentially, Sinek believes our sense of purpose, whether personally or professionally, is the key to success. The why, followed by the how, and the what are the three steps to achieving personal satisfaction, as well as being a great leader and growing a successful company. If you have time, I'd really recommend that you read this book. And if you don't, then I'm going to share some of my key takeaways with you today. So he speaks about the golden circle, and he mentions it quite a lot in his book. Don't know if you guys can see the golden circle. It's a circle with why, how, and what. And it's one of his recurring points in the book, is that many companies have a strong sense of what they do, but actually a really fuzzy sense of why. He details many examples of companies who have lost their way because actually they've lost their sense of why, including Walmart and Dell Corporation. You know, don't base decisions on false assumptions. He points out that often when things go right or wrong for us, we won't really take time out to actually analyze why. And sometimes we analyze why, but come up with completely the wrong ideas, or we assume that the way we've done it is the only way to do it right. There may yet be an even better way that we haven't even discovered. And he uses a great example about a Japanese and American car. So near the end of the American production line, the car doors don't fit properly, and they employ people to actually hammer the car doors into shape. And they were looking for ways to optimize that process. And when they spoke to their Japanese competitors, they saw that they took precise measurements before the doors were even made, so they already knew they would fit. And the message is that sometimes you might be looking for answers to the wrong questions. You know, the Americans should have asked not how can we improve the door fitting process, but why don't our doors fit to start with? So that brings me to the point, is your marketing inspirational or is it manipulative? You should know why your customers are your customers. It's literally one of the most important things that you could know. If you're using manipulative marketing techniques, low price, promotions, fear, I don't know, aspirations, peer pressure, novelty factor, you're probably not focused on building long-term quality relationships with your customers based on their loyalty to your brand. And this could be fine, as long as you don't trick yourself into thinking it's the best way to do things just because it's working at this point in time. If people only do business with you because you're the cheapest, they'll leave you as soon as that ceases to be the case. Or they find a brand they identify with more than yours. People actually don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. I mean, the Apple brand is Sinac's champion example of leading with why, by pitching products, by saying we believe in challenging the status quo and thinking differently. So we design our products to be beautiful and simple to use. Want to buy a computer from us? You know, the overriding impression with which Apple leaves their audience is inspiration, appealing to people who also feel that they challenge the status quo. Thus, Apple has established itself as a lifestyle brand, and people who buy Apple are not just buying a laptop, they're actually buying the status quo. Inspirational marketing and a clear sense of why is what endangers brands' loyalty. And finally, he says, achievement is something you reach or attain, like a goal. It's something tangible, clearly defined and measurable. Success, in contrast, is a feeling or state of being. And I think this final point is something really powerful to take away. Achievement is what you do, but success is why. I mean, I've personally have had a reconcile myself with enjoying doing so many different types of things. And what Sinac is saying is that as long as you're doing work which is consistent with your why, then it's very possible to have a varied and still consistent career. You know, I love to enable people. I love to find new ways of solving problems or thinking about things which make things better and more efficient for people. I mean, for those who don't know my background, I come from the corporate world. I was a stockbroker for Goldman Sachs. I'm a public speaking coach and trainer. You know, public speaking doesn't have to be scary and it doesn't have to be a performance. There is another way. Remember, we're social creatures. Relationships are at the heart of what it means to be a human. Our experience is that if we can help people get the relationship right, everything else falls into place. This is especially true for public speaking. No amount of techniques and tricks will help you speak effectively unless you can really connect with your audience and they can feel that you're truly at ease in front of the room. You know, my unique approach to public speaking goes much deeper than most others because I help to develop an authentic, confident, personal public speaking style that will allow you to connect with your audience and successfully get your point across in a way that impacts your listeners intellectually and emotionally. So whether you're terrified of speaking, as many people are, or you're relatively confident and simply want a powerful connection with your audience, my gentle yet radical approach can help you. And don't take my word for it. Look me up on the social media platforms and look at my client feedback. You know, when I'm asked, what's the key to my success? I say, all praise to my Lord. He's been so instrumental throughout my journey that it's only right I give glory to him. And I'd like to finish on a quote by Nelson Mandela. And it's one that I use on my website. I use it in my workshops. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. And to all my viewers out there, I ask you to conquer your fear, followed by the why, followed by the how, and then the what. And on that note, over to you boys.
So that was a lovely 10-minute sales pitch there, Maz. Well done. So that was lovely, and I love the way that you said. She said, "My listeners." And
yeah. That's it.
I tell you what. I think it's careful though. She shouldn't really refer to me as Lord.
I do love that.
Beautiful statement there, Maz. Interjecting with a little bit of selling.
I love the fact that she used Apple and her own brand together.
It's very positive. We like that one. Is there any points to pick up on that? Because that was a sort of a statement. You weren't.
I think there is. We're the small business support group here, and Simon Sinek was instrumental in my personal development when I first started doing mentoring and helping business owners. Absolute legend of a guy. Recommend that you look him up on YouTube. He does some great TED Talks, some really good stuff there. And the Golden Circle, I give talks on that. When I do my coaching, I talk about it, and starting with the why is fundamental. Because if we're in business, what I tend to find is when you're new to business, when you first start up, identifying your why and leveraging it to make your passion be the driver, it can make business not feel like work. It's when you're working on your passion because it drives you, because it is your why. You know, there's a driving force behind it. You get so much more done. It doesn't feel like work. You're energized, and it's really an amazing place to be. What I tend to find, and some of the businesses that I've worked with, when you've been in business a while, you can forget your why. You can forget why you started in the first place. And when I first started reading Simon Sinek, there's a quote actually. I've just had to look it up because I remember it's a quote that I think is absolutely spot on from him. And he says, "What good is it having a belly if there's no fire in it? Wake up, drink your passion, light a match, and get to work." And that's what it's like when you're working, what I call on purpose. You know, and that's one of the phrases that I you know, you're working on a purpose, on your why. On my own website, that's you know, defining your purpose is kind of my slogan, and that was all derived. I think Simon Sinek was one of the guys that helped me really get excited about personal development and about helping entrepreneurs grow their business, and closely followed by another book that I read in a similar time called Delivering Happiness, by Tony Hsieh, who built a business called Zappos, and that Simon Sinek, you know, talking about your why, and then also the core values that accompany your why are the two pillar stones, or cornerstones rather, of what I believe in when it comes to business. So thanks for bringing that up, Maz, because I think anybody in business should look at Start With Why and Delivering Happiness, because they're both massively inspirational for me, and I know millions of other entrepreneurs around the globe.
That's sorry, I had to mute Mark's mic there because it's a bit windy where he is by the docks. Mark, have you got to say on that? Have you read those books?
Yeah, it's all about reading, isn't it? I'm more of an audio person, really, because each person has their way of connecting and assimilating information. And for me, it is about audio, visuals, like to see speakers. And a good way to do that right now is to look up YouTube. But yeah, definitely the examining why you're doing something is always important, because if you're not asking the question, then others will be asking it of you. And also be happy with your conviction that you are doing what you need to do, because there are so many people out there who've got some amazing advice for you. And I always liken it to this: if I want advice, I'll ask for it.
Oh, okay, that was abrupt. Yes, I can see that. It's there is a lot. I mean, obviously Grant is my I class Grant as my mentor, which is
he's a good mentor.
He's a good mentor. He's been working with me for a few years now, and he actually helped start my social media business. And I think listening to other people talk about how their pitfalls and the things that they've done that is successful is really useful. And also reading about, I'm very much like Mark. I'm more of an audio person. I like to watch somebody. So it's, I think following somebody, you don't have to follow them, word by word. You can adapt that to how it fits in with you. But it's, I think watching somebody who's been successful and also fail and been successful as well is vitally important, because it's how you pick yourself up sometimes when you fall over, and looking at how other people have done it is essential. Right, Mark, have you got any topics you want to pick up today? It's Friday, it's relaxed, you're by the water. Don't throw yourself in, for God's sake, man.
Well, one of the reasons why I didn't get back to the house to obviously do the call today is because I've been doing the
you've been thrown out, basically. That's what you're saying, because you haven't been in the house yesterday or today.
Love it. The couch to 5K, and that's all about trying to get my head straight, get my mental and physical being where it should be, and how I feel the coronavirus has affected me. And hopefully, while sharing some of the stories and sharing the running around, I've helped others do it. But the other passion I have, and I'm a bloke, so just bear with me on this one, is going shopping. I do like to look at shops. I do like to, gadgets or clothes or anything like that. And I'm dismayed when I went into Birmingham yesterday. It was great to get into the city, great to get back into the office. But I'm dismayed with the decision by the local council for Birmingham. And I know they're desperate for money. But when I spoke to Tony Elvin from from John Lewis in the Touchwood Centre, they were like, no, we're not charging anyone, shoppers, to park during this whole pandemic, and especially over the few months of opening. And yet I get to the car park and I see, free parking. I think, fantastic, free parking. And then I feel, hang on, they're going to stop it on Monday. So you're going to stop it just as businesses are trying to get themselves back on the right track, trying to open their doors to the general public. You try and encourage people to come through the door, and they're limited on the amount of money they've got right now. And yet you're going to ask them for £3 or £4, and in some instances, Birmingham, probably £5-6 to park the car. I think that's absolutely the wrong decision, and Birmingham City Council need to review that very quickly.
Grant's probably got something to say. Well, no, he's got something to say. Go on, Grant.
So, my suspicion is that they can't afford not to, because quite publicly, Birmingham Council have had their money issues, and I would guess that over the last couple of months, they have got themselves into even deeper trouble than they already were. Birmingham City Council is the largest council in Europe. It is enormous, and they had a huge problem a few years ago when they got sued by their own employees, and it left them with masses of debt. So the coronavirus is only going to have made that worse. Obviously, they're not collecting business rates. They're giving out loads of grants. They've not collected anything from the parking. My suspicion is, Mark, although I wholeheartedly agree with you, they can't afford not to. That's my suspicion.
Can I just ask? Sorry, Matt. Can I just ask?
Yes, you carry on.
Because I'm down in Gloucester, and obviously my council tax, I'm still having to pay it. I'm assuming then Birmingham City Council have had to cancel that for every household. Just saying. Yeah, like your council tax, you have to pay, all the rates to pick up your bins, clean the streets, do all the things that they possibly haven't been doing because they don't need to do because no one's around.
I mean, I don't know. I was due a grant from Birmingham Council as a rent. I rent property in Birmingham, and I was due £10,000 grant. I haven't heard a dicky bird. Well, I have heard a little bit, but they're basically arguing the toss, and now they've gone all quiet on it. Whether or not I'll ever get that.
I thought the government were giving that.
Yeah, the government is supplying that, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be, but the council have to administer it. And I can also talk anonymously that I'm not going to say any names, but I do know of some people who are owed money by the council due to one of the deals with the council is that you have to give them money when you start any development work, and providing you tick all the boxes, they then give you the money back.
Okay.
And they
What?
say they haven't got the money to give it back.
Really?
And we're talking a lot of money.
Okay.
So have the government given the money to dish out, and they're just sitting on it? Do you think that's the case?
Who knows? Oh, what I do know is I've got zero respect for the administrative skills of the council. I've got zero. I mean, you know what? Don't get me started on.
We're keeping it light for Friday, aren't we?
Yeah, on all of that. I just think most government-run or council-run things are a shambles. And although there are certain councils that do better than others, and you know there are good people that work in the councils, don't get me wrong, and I've met them. The system itself is generally pretty chaotic. Now, given what we've just been through, that's just going to make it even worse, isn't it? You know, it's going to make it even worse.
It's shocking that they've been given the money.
I suppose what I'm getting at is
leave your hair alone, Mark.
Have you noticed? It's cut. Yeah, it's like, yeah.
I tell you what, if you give us a twirl, I bet it might not be as nice as it looks from the front. It's a home job.
Whoa, no, calm down. Yeah, what I mean is, at a time when businesses are having to pick themselves up and are being given the opportunity, and they're doing a lot of preparation for this, but given the opportunity to get themselves back on their feet, surely now is not time to put obstacles in people's way.
No, definitely not.
I agree.
You've got to help these businesses as much as possible, because they can't get enough people through the door because of the social distancing, and it's going to be a struggle for everybody. I'm not going to go out shopping straight away. I mean, it leads itself onto this. I'm a little bit annoyed today again. Or anyway, just for the councils, regarding the council's car parking, is it a good or bad? It's definitely a bad if you're charging. Sorry, that's not good, council.
I personally think it's a bad thing. Full stop.
Well, yeah, it is.
Yeah, I mean, and although Touchwood are doing the right thing, usually their pricing is rubbish. Redditch in the Kingfisher Centre, their prices have gone up, and they've started charging on a Sunday as well. I don't know what they're doing now. I'm talking about prior to lockdown. The whole thing with parking, don't get me started on hospitals.
Oh, no. That's for another day.
Yeah.
That's for another day. Moving on.
We started something.
They've said this morning that we are definitely going into a recession because in April, our trade was down 20.4%. Is it just me? But are we not surprised that everything was frigging shut? It must be down.
That sounds pretty impressive to me. Given everywhere was shut, only 20% down.
20%.
Figure that one out.
I don't know.
You'd have thought it'd be more like 80%, wouldn't you?
But I don't know why they're all shocked. They're all like, oh my Lord, it's terrible. Everyone's open.
This is a shameful plug for any online digital help companies out there. Is that Blam?
We're going there. We're going there. Obviously, yes. We'll start off with the big boys. Amazon, obviously, still trading, even though they had a limited supply chain. They were still trading, so that kept things bolstered a bit. And of course, everybody that Grant helped and I helped with our digital marketing side of things, that they're still kept going. There was obviously new companies that were coming online and trading online because of, again, myself and Grant helping. I'm only doing this because Maz had a terrible plug. So it's just I'm surprised at how everybody is so shocked that trade was down, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, are they idiots? I mean, it is just stupid. Absolutely stupid.
You haven't heard this for a while, but in April, wait for it, it was my wife's birthday, so they couldn't have been that far down, because I obviously did a few things on the birthday.
Did you buy any balloons?
I did buy balloons.
Because the balloon sales were up.
Oh, good. There you go. I bought some perfume as well. So I obviously contributed to the wealth of the economy here.
Oh, well done. We're all going to prepare. We've all got to prepare. And as I said a few weeks back, that when Grant brought up about the recession and the depression, that let's not talk ourselves into it. We can talk ourselves out of it if we're going to talk ourselves into it. But instantly, you go on the BBC News, you go Sky News, on the phone, their headlines are all recession, recession, recession. And this is the way we talk ourselves into it. So great job, everybody. Great job, Cynthia. Get yourselves. Yes, okay. We know people have stopped spending, but we know there's going to be job losses. We're fully prepared for that. Mark said about the job losses 5 weeks ago.
Yeah,
so let's,
absolutely.
you know, we're going to have an issue. It's going to be tough, but we can get ourselves out of it, people. Let's not talk ourselves into it. There's lots. You know, everybody who's been furloughed or they've been or made redundant, and I know there's lots of people being made redundant. That payoff you get in. There's lots of great digital marketing companies. You know,
I tell you, I'd like to change the subject if I may.
Yeah, please do, because
we've got 5 minutes left, and I am extremely excited to see that Mark posted this morning that you have booked.
Oh yes,
You've booked your first actual
face-to-face
social distance networking event.
Social distance
in real life.
I didn't read it. Mark, tell us more, please. Tell us more.
Come on.
Well,
I didn't purposely read it because I knew you were going to talk about it.
Oh, well, I wasn't, but it's great that you've obviously pitched that. But no, I mean, I think we have to support where we can all the amazing eateries around the country, but more importantly, Birmingham for ourselves at the moment. And Chongying, it's going to be the Cantonese side. I spoke to James this morning, and he said, it'll be the Cantonese one in the Chinatown that we can go in and use. So that's going to be even better. Great food. They've been doing a great job with the deliveries. So they're all geared up. They're all gearing up for the 4th of July to open. So we booked the 8th of July. We've limited it to 10 tickets at the moment because obviously we've got to wait to find out what the government's guidelines are on this. But at the same time, a bit like anything, the government will just turn around the day before and say, we're now going to open shops, we're now going to open restaurants, So I'm getting ready, preempting in advance. I booked it with the guys. I said, look, I'll give it...
Mark,
I'm ready.
Yes, yes, Matt,
Mark,
please.
I was going to say, when were you going to tell me this? Because you do realize I hosted the
It's serious. It's serious.
She's kicking
Mark's
off.
in trouble.
She's kicking off. I did say to you, Matt, we were going to do this. I mean, obviously.
Give me a call afterwards after 12:30, please. You're not calling me. Discuss this offline.
I saw it on Facebook.
I did message
I saw it on Facebook as well. I just didn't read it.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what though, Matt. Just a quick tip for you, Matt. If you turn up, you're never going to be able to eat a prawn wearing that mask.
No, I'm not. Because if I'm doing prawns, I'm doing both of these babies. I've got that one and that one. Keep away the smell.
I'm only allowed 10 guests there, and Blam are sponsoring this event, so I'm really excited.
Are they?
Yeah. Look at his face.
Wow.
His face.
Does you know?
Well, he's a gold member, and he gets
so who are the other
part of it? And
who are the other?
He hasn't let me down at all with this.
Do you know what? I will gladly sponsor the event, mate. No problem. I'm just glad to get out.
Obviously, there's me, there's Maz, there's Grant, there's you.
I noticed this. I've said 10 places, and you lot are trying to fill it. Well, of course it's Maz because she's got to host it. I will happily give up my space to let someone else come. Will you do the same,
really?
Matt?
No. Yeah, give mine away. I won't turn up anyway. I'm still be inside. But if you want to get in touch with Mark, and seriously, this is if he is starting that, don't put your thumb up, mate, because there's only one person putting the thumb up fan here. Please email Mark at thebusinessgrowthnetwork.co.uk if you do want to get involved in the first face-to-face networking meeting. I feel this is something vital now. It's going
to be exciting.
And I think we should be broadcasting live onto this network
from the event. We should.
It's a Wednesday. It's at 12:00.
Well, there we go. Oh, here we go. Look, he's sort of backing down on everything now, isn't he? Just the business is moving forward. I've got work to do. Anyway, we're nearly at the end. I just want to say, first of all, we've obviously had some great news yesterday because we're our podcast side of things is moving along quite quickly, and we now have obviously Spotify we're on, so you can just go to the Small Business Support Group page or whatever it is on Spotify. We're on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Take the longest. They've authorized that we are on, but it's going to be about a week and a half before we actually get on there. LinkedIn is still watching all the content we put out there to make sure we're not swearing, so we can't say bum or tit. No, we can actually. I did check to see. If we can say words like that, and we can. It's the other words we can't use, and of course we're on Facebook as well. So we are. I'm really proud of doing that. I'm also really proud of Maz and Grant and Mark because they have really seriously threw themselves into this show for the past 9 or 10 weeks. I know Mark's had some time off. He had to go and park his car and he's had to go for a run. And Maz has had to do something. I don't know what she does. But anyway, thank you people very much for making what this show is. And I think we can go further. I think we can go a long way with this. I was speaking to somebody last night who's putting an event on for a charity. It's all online. It's a DJ event. And the equipment he's got up that he uses for these events, multiple cameras, and they're all hooked up into Facebook, and it just looks outstanding. So we can aim for that. We can put a massive event on of us stood on a stage with nobody there, with all the cameras, and we can, in front of thousands of people. That is where my goal is. So prepare yourselves for that. Dancing,
I love that.
Obviously, socially distancing, fireworks, everything. We're going to do everything. But thank you. Seriously, thank you very much, everybody.
And Matt knows how to run an event. If anybody's seen his house at Halloween, you need to get a picture of that.
I will get the pictures up for that. That is a great event. So that is it for today. Anybody else got any little bits of anything for the weekends? Maz, what are you up to at the weekend? No, nothing. We didn't make you cry or anything.
I am on Saturday. I'm running a one-to-one public speaking boot camp. No,
Okay,
I said no. I'm running a boot camp on Saturday.
She's got a massive delay, just to let you know. Maz has got a delay.
I can't. My internet's terrible.
Yeah.
You're breaking in and out.
Okay, all right. Well, all right, Maz, you've got something which you're self-promoting there, so we're not having that. Mark, what are you?
Okay, so I think it's called balls, as in like
Pardon?
balls, the French balls.
Yes, okay,
yeah. So booze, yeah. So we obviously, since the 6 people in the garden type stuff, there's 3 couples, if you like, and we've all been doing this. The girls sit down there, have quaff, prosecco, wine, all the rest of it, and us blokes are just standing there constantly throwing balls and trying to catch up with each other. I'm always last, by the way, but I'm working on it.
Okay, that's cool. Watch the weather at the weekend because we're supposed to be quite spectacular on Saturday with lightning and storms.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Saturday. We're doing it.
Yeah, Saturday. Oh, is it? Yeah. It's going to be quite spectacular. If you don't know, it's because I'm a little bit of an amateur weather person. The heat is building as we speak now. It's coming up from Spain. That's hit the cold air which we've had for the past few days, and the weather is going to be from tonight onwards, overnight, West Midlands downwards. It's going to be horrific, just to let you know. So it's going to be spectacular. Grant,
Is it going to be hot then? Is it going to be hot as well?
Yeah, it's going to be warm. It's going to be 20, 21.
May have scuppered my plans. I was going to go mountain biking tomorrow.
Yeah, if you're up north, are you up north or where you going?
Nah, just a Cannock.
No.
Cannock.
Midlands.
Well, it's going to be
Cannock is north.
Very local. It will be very local, so just keep an eye on the weather. It's going to be cloudy all day, but the rain's supposed to start about 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon, and then tomorrow is quite horrific, but it's very patchy. Tonight, people, obviously. Oh, sorry, Grant. Anything else? We're just going to mountain
barbecue Sunday. Barbecue Sunday. Looking for that.
That's good. That's what we want. People in the gardens. Yes.
We do.
I've got my cheesy tunes. I love that. I'm quite happy with that banner. It's Cheesy Tunes Friday on the B93 House Party. It's cheesy tunes all the way. So if anybody wants to request anything, bang it in and we'll play. It doesn't matter how bad it is. So it might even get something in tonight.
Agadoo.
That someone's already requested it, and that will be there.
Brilliant.
So people, thank you very much. We will see you Monday at midday. We'll see you soon. Bye bye, everybody.
Brilliant.
Take
Cheers,
care.
guys. Bye bye.